NBA star Kevin Durant is speaking out against the way the Brooklyn Nets are handling the situation with his teammate Kyrie Irving. Durant taking to social media saying that the Brooklyn Nets could have handled the situation differently not too long after Durant clarified his statement, saying that he doesn't condone hate speech or anti-Semitism. Now, Irving has been suspended from at least 5 games without pay after posting about a movie that featured anti-Semitic tropes on social media last week. And now that book and that movie that Irving posted about is still available on Amazon for purchase and for rent. It's even climbed to Amazon's bestseller list. The CEO of the American Jewish Committee is calling for Amazon to take down the film and book. Amazon has not confirmed if they will do so. Joining me now to talk about the rise in anti-Semitism and hate speech is the president of the American Jewish University, Dr. Jeffrey Herbst. Dr. Herbst, thank you so much for being here.
Good evening.
So Kyrie has apologized. That apology has received mixed reviews, though. Is it enough? And what needs to be done to make things right?
I think society has spoken about his tweets and made clear overwhelmingly that people disapprove. I think, frankly, at this point, we risk giving him too much attention.
So what would you like to see going forward now?
I would like organizations and society to say to the Nets and to him that his tweets have been unacceptable, that a team based on popular support is losing popular support, and then stop and walk away. I think it's clear about his views, and I think they're unacceptable. But continuing to engage at this point, I think, risks giving him too much attention and inadvertently promoting the very hatreds that people say they're against.
Yeah, so let's move on from those statements. I do want to address the ripple effects, though, because we know, for example, after Ye's comments, formerly known as Kanye West, we saw the appearance of anti-Semitic banners over an LA freeway overpass. Other statements in Florida as well projected onto a screen after a college football game. Did you think that in 2022 you'd see this in a region where you live in LA?
Look, I think given our society's polarizations at the moment, you can't be shocked about any kind of manifestation in America in 2022. However, I think at the same time, we have to fight against these incidents, indicate our abhorrence of them, but also not be afraid. And I'm concerned about not only these statements and the signs in the overpass, but I'm also concerned about people of my faith and others who become so obsessed about the social media conversation that they're afraid to be openly Jewish, they're afraid to go to synagogues, and I think that would be the worst outcome of all of this.
And meanwhile, Amazon still has not removed the anti-Semitic film that Kyrie Irving tweeted out. What does Jeff Bezos have a responsibility to do here, and does it concern you that it is climbing on the bestseller list?
It is concerning, but hardly surprising that when something is given attention, people buy it. Look, I think Bezos should probably, and Amazon should probably cut their ties with it. But at the same time, we have to recognize that they're a platform and that they're simply providing people a means of buying it. They should now, given that it's gotten the attention it has, probably take it off its platform. But again, I think we have to calibrate these reactions, because I'm talking to people now who are afraid to go to synagogue, who are afraid to put identifiably Jewish symbols on their homes because of these discussions. And I think inadvertently, that gives the haters a win.
I hear you, and I certainly appreciate your perspective and insight. Jeffrey Herbst, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.